Why are black people saying this is not our fight making you upset? I've seen video after video from Latino creators or Latino people coming online pleading to black people to put our bodies at the forefront of this fight against illegal ICE raids, against deportation, against roundups, against undocumented people being rounded up and families being disjointed. But
because ultimately she's there like Omarosa would be there. What exactly is she being brought in to, provide advisement on? It'll be interesting to see how other political commentators comment on her inclusion in the conversations right now. I think it'll also be interesting to hear her perspective, how she viewed.
I regret voting for Donald Trump. No, I'm just messing with y'all. I don't actually regret my vote. I do still think that he was a better option than Kamala Harris. But with that being said, I do just want to say that I do believe that he was going to be voted into office regardless of whether I voted for him or not. The more that I see things unfold, and yes, I was gone for 3 months, but I was still, paying attention to the world and following things that were happening. I do genuinely believe that
the illegal immigrants or the immigrants were doing in the fields. I can tell you, Mr. President, that is not fucking happening. We are not going back in the field. You could get that out your mind.
Where did Trump find this brother at? He said, I can tell you where the shows are and where the hoes are. What?
Imagine being told that because you are black, then you have a responsibility to fight every battle affecting another community. I mean, that's the tension at the center of this video. You see, some Latino voices are asking black Americans to stand at the forefront of the fight against the ICE raids, deportations, and family separations. But black voices are pushing back. They are not taking this bait. They are not taking the trap. They argue that they have spent generations, for decades, standing up for other communities while receiving little solidarity in return, while being disrespected in return. And at the same time, black Americans are divided politically, with some of them supporting Trump and others warning about his policies. So why are black people saying this is not our fight? This is not something you should involve us? What does that really mean? Anyway, let's watch the video all the way to the end. Let's see what these guys are trying to share with us, and then we can come for more commentaries. If this is your first time, please subscribe so we can have more of these discussions. Otherwise, let's watch. I'll come later for more discussion.
Racism is the fact that because I'm black, you automatically try to put me into this box where I'm supposed to support all these delusional causes and movements rather than aligning with what I actually believe in. Let's look at the Democratic Party right now. It is literally becoming the party of socialism and communism. I am not going to support any kind of group that wants to make us all equally dirt poor and miserable. Yes, I am black, and yes, I voted for secure borders. I only want people in our country who are authorized to be here. Why is that so hard for y'all to understand? I voted for women to have safe spaces. When women go into the locker room and the bathroom, I want them to feel safe. I don't want people to constantly look at me and think, oh, because you're black, you got hired because you're black. That's what happens when you have things like DEI, where people discredit me and don't look at the fact that my resume is very long. And let's talk about global policy. There are so many nations out there that literally want to wipe us off the map because they hate Western civilization. I'm not going to vote for the party that's going to have us weak. I'm going to vote for the leader, and I voted in past tense for the leader that is making us dominant and strong on a global scale. So how can I support Trump as a black man? Because as a black American, I'm not going to buy into all the lies and propaganda that you tell me that I need to believe because of my skin complexion. I'm not about to sit here and suffer because of what my ancestors went through. Instead, I'm going to look at the real American story, the real black American story, and how far we have come as a nation and how far we have gone out of our way to put black people in a position of privilege, a privilege that I now enjoy today.
So it's clear that we are watching the fall of the American empire in real time. And there is a stark difference in the way that the white community is responding and how the black community is responding. The black community en masse has completely withdrawn. They fought, they campaigned, they warned us, and we chose the orange man anyway. And they're out. The white community, on the other hand, is fighting. Those of us who aren't under Trump's spell. And There is this real sentiment that if we can just get Trump out of the way, then we can all get back to normal. But the thing is, that's not what God is doing. And I'm not a nihilist, but we're missing the point. The point is this white supremacist system has wreaked enough havoc. Enough. And God is judging it. And the fact that we are clinging so hard to it makes me wonder, what does the black community see that we don't, that's allowing them to totally let go right now?
The illegal immigrants or the immigrants were doing in the fields. I can tell you, Mr. President, that is not fucking happening. We are not going back in the field. You could get that out your mind. You and all your Republican buddies, it's not happening. So you need to come up with a better solution for your shortage of staff. You can't pay us enough. We've been there. We've done that. Not happening. You need to figure out how to work out a path to citizenship for all these hardworking immigrants that do want to work in this country. Because there are lots of people that comes into this country that honestly want to work. Not all immigrants that's here, whether they're here legal or illegally, want to commit crime or do commit crime. Statistically proven, you have more homegrown assault on this country than anything else. Mass shooting for one. You understand? So you need to figure out something. But black people, we're not. We're not the solution to that. We're not going back. And I believe if for some reason that was ever attempted, you're going to have a fight on your hands. Let me know what y'all thinking.
Where did Trump find this brother at? He said, I can tell you where the shows are and where the hoes are. What?
To the unions. We don't all get tips, no. But we do work long hours, hard hours. 96 hours a week, yeah, most of the times I'm not up on current affairs. I don't have a clue what's going on the planet. But I can tell you what's going on in Las Vegas. I can tell you where the shows are. I can tell you we fill the beds in this city. And we love every minute of it. And I thank you for allowing us to keep this money that we work so hard for. Yeah, I just gone through a divorce and given up everything, but the fact that I got so much back on my taxes, I still was able to buy a new house. Put her in one too.
You have to be desperate, honestly, to go to Nevada yesterday and find this brother right here, who we can tell just by the way he's sitting up there that he ain't really wrapped too tight. He ain't saying the right things. You can look at the way you can see how Trump's staring at him. Just say what I told you to say and everything will work out just fine. Just say big, beautiful. He can't even do it because his mind is gone. What are we talking about? Woo! Donald Trump, you are this desperate? I gotta watch it again. This is I don't even want to call. Is this black? No. He found a brother on the street somewhere and basically made him do this. I know this is how low things are.
Because ultimately she's there like Omarosa would be there. What exactly is she being brought in to, provide advisement on? It'll be interesting to see how other political commentators comment on her inclusion in the conversations right now. I think it'll also be interesting to hear her perspective, how she viewed either her experience or just, her thoughts, because I remember how problematic she was and really just continues to be, So I have been looking at kind of diverse perspectives, specifically from Black women on Condoleezza Rice at this point. because I think it's pretty interesting to see how Black women are, kind of cheering her inclusion on. Like it seems like in the comment section and people who are posting videos, that they're excited that she's there. They're saying things like, Black women to the rescue. A Black woman always has to come in and save the day. Condoleezza Rice has so many accomplishments, and things like that. But I'm like, what is it that y'all think that she is going to do as it relates to saving something? Like, what is the context that you're putting out there about what it is that what her role is? And I just hope that we are able to, as Black women, have more of a critical lens around Black women in politics specifically, and also really deconstructing what inclusion and representation, what that means, and like when and how that's activated.
Why are Black people saying this is not our fight making you upset? I've seen video after video from Latino creators or Latino people coming online pleading to Black people to put our bodies at the forefront of this fight against illegal ICE raids, against deportation, against roundups, against undocumented people being rounded up and families being disjointed. But there's several reasons as to why you should not be shocked that Black people are sitting this one out. You guys all remember that this is a subset of your community last year. You're also aware that across the board, overwhelmingly Black people voted in favor of the candidate that had Black interests, Latino interests, Asian interests at heart. Where if you look at the sentiments of what that vote represents, half of your community voted for this. Half of your community said F you to Black people. Half of your community said, we don't care about you. Half of your community said you wanted to be white aligning and white adjacent. And now you're being reminded of the fact that you're not. We have to have the ability to hold multiple truths when we speak to each other as communities. The truth is that Latinos are not in a monolith. It's just an all-encompassing umbrella that they put you under. And that, yes, the majority of the people that voted for Donald Trump and were doing that were Cuban and were other people in different parts of the country, and undocumented people in Mexico, in California are being impacted by that. That is true. But what's also true is that there is a history of Black people fighting and being at the forefront of civil rights in this country since the inception of civil rights in this country. And it's always been pushback and non-solidarity from multiple communities who are voting and always going against Black people. So this particular time when Black women especially really came out in droves and really fought forward with our votes, and you guys didn't do it, your community didn't do it. It's like, why would I fight now? Why would I fight now? So I just need you, like, if you're going to come online and make pleas and ploys to Black people, because I've seen so many video, start by acknowledging the fact that your community has colorism, anti-Blackness, and voted against your own best self-interest. Start with that. Don't come in here and ask Black people just to put our bodies at the forefront of the line, because we've been doing that for a century. Secondly, I think the majority of Black people who are saying that they're sitting this one out are using their voice in other ways or having solidarity with you in other ways, but they're not going to protest. They're not going to go get hit by rubber bullets. They're not going to put themselves in harm's way or make that effort again, because you guys, it's time for you to fight for yourself. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense for you. Now, there's also a bunch of Black people online who are asking Black people to come out and fight for everyone, and everyone needs to fight, and this is our fight as well. While I do agree with a lot of those sentiments, because if they're doing it to brown citizens, they can do it to Black citizens, and they can use the Congo and Haiti as an excuse to just racially profile all of us. That's very true. But you have to stop telling Black people to put themselves on the line when Black people are exhausted. Black people are exhausted. Black people have done so much for all communities in this country. At a certain point, there has to be a time where they need to rest. And right now, a bunch of people are resting, and that's fine. But there will always be people in our community who fight. Like, I'm using my voice every fucking day on this app. I've made an update about every single thing going on with ICE raids, locations, where they are, what's happening with Trump. I do it every day on my social page, and it's exhausting. Like, I'm actually exhausted. Today I put up like 10 posts. I'm exhausted, but I'm doing it because I know my voice has reach, and I know that people need to hear it. And that's my personal choice. I'm not doing it because I feel obligated. So stop trying to make people feel obligated to put themselves on the line again. I say that to say it's a lot of fucked up shit happening in this country. I know that people and families, I was in tears last night seeing people self-deport themselves and people getting rounded up, grandfathers and grandmothers and abuelitas getting taken away, who are the people who are the fabric of this city in LA. But I just know that it doesn't end here, and there are black people on that list. There are black countries on that list. There are black countries on that list, and I'll say that to you again. There are black countries on that list.
I regret voting for Donald Trump. No, I'm just messing with y'all. I don't actually regret my vote. I do still think that he was a better option than Kamala Harris. But with that being said, I do just want to say that I do believe that he was going to be voted into office regardless of whether I voted for him or not. The more that I see things unfold, and yes, I was gone for 3 months, but I was still, paying attention to the world and following things that were happening. I do genuinely believe that he was going to be enacted into office in order for certain biblical prophecies to be fulfilled. No, I do not believe that he is the Antichrist, but I do believe that him being in power and certain events happening currently in the world, or that have happened in the last 3 or so months, or just ever since he has been into the presidential office, I do believe that those are biblical prophecies that are being fulfilled in front of our eyes, and that we need to be watching out for, and that we need to be very aware, and that we need to be very discerning. Like I said, I do not regret my vote for him, because there are things that he's doing, that his cabinet is doing, that I do like and that I am in support of. But there's a lot of things that I look at and I'm like, you don't gotta be doing all this. I don't think that the Trump that we voted for is the same Trump now, or maybe not necessarily that. Let me rephrase. I do think that there was some deception, and I will be first to admit that some Christians, especially as me, we did fall for the deception. Again, he did fulfill his promise, or he did keep his promises when it comes to illegal immigration, like all the things that he was trying to do. But I am concerned with some of the things that he's currently doing. And I've always been very open in the fact that I don't like him. I don't like his personality. I don't like how he talks to people and about people. But I was always, like I always have said, I did and I do still think that he was a better option than Kamala Harris. That does not make me regret my vote, but it does, throughout my 3 months being off TikTok and kind of leaving that echo chamber, I have realized the left wing, the right wing, they're all a part of the same bird. It's just controlled by the same people. Neither the liberals are better nor the conservatives are better. So at this point, like, enough with the labels. I am not a conservative. I'm a follower of Christ. Yes, my values and my opinions and morals and beliefs do more closely align with the conservative values. However, I have decided to no longer apply this label to me that I'm a Christian conservative. I am just a follower of Christ. I'm a daughter of the Most High King, because as Christians, the only thing that we can do is pray. Prayer is powerful. The only thing that we can do is pray for the people in power, that they will make the right choices and lead us. But at the same time, I have realized that our world is just going downhill. All these biblical prophecies are unfolding right in front of our eyes. And some of y'all are blind to see it, or just don't have the discernment to see it, or you don't want to admit that that is what we're seeing. Which I don't necessarily blame you for. It takes a certain spirit of discernment to see these things that are happening in the world and to say, yes, God warned us about this and we need to be watchful about them. There's a few things that come to mind. I'm not going to go super in depth about all of them. But for example, the peace treaty being signed in the Middle East, Trump receiving an award and being called the Prince of Peace. Again, there's things that I like that he was doing, like with immigration and stuff. But there are certain limits that are being crossed. And again, I do not regret my vote, but I am being more aware of the fact that regardless of who I voted for, this was going to unfold. The Bible warned us about this, and I'm not trying to fearmonger, but there are things happening right now, and there are going to be things happening in the near and distant future that are specifically outlined in the Bible. And then we're not to be scared of them, but we are to continue to do what we're supposed to do, to preach, to spread the gospel, to reach other people, to show them Christ's love and his sacrifice for us, because that is how we reach. That is why I'm no longer interested in doing these lives and apologetics, because I realize and I understand now that people don't come into my lives because they're genuinely interested in learning a different perspective. People come for the debate. Let me get a gotcha moment. Let me clip this because people will think that I'm smart or whatever. People don't always have a genuine desire to know Christ.
I have been struggling on how to say this, and I made a video earlier. I took it down, but y'all are focusing on the wrong people. Y'all are focusing on why don't black people care what Trump is doing. We do. But we're focusing on us and ourselves to survive through this. What y'all need to be focused on instead of, well, why aren't black people actively protesting and doing all the things that they usually do? One, because we told you we're not going to do that anymore. Okay, we told you. Y'all didn't listen. Two, because we can't help you as much as the people you need to help you. Okay? You need white people. You're focusing on black people, you need to focus on white people. You need to get their attention, their compassion, their empathy, their social and political power. You're focused on the wrong people. You're focused on the wrong demographic. Black people don't make up the vast majority of this country. We don't make up the vast majority of politicians. We are not in the White House. I'm telling you, you need to focus on white people and getting them to actively care and campaign and protest in your name, in your favor, and leave black people alone.
Welcome back. Now, after watching the video all the way to the end, listening to every perspective, I think we can see that the frustration is real, and the black people are no longer taking any chance to support somebody who does not respect them back. I mean, black people are no longer afraid like they used to. Black people are no longer falling for any trap, falling for any bait. Black people are now like strong. Okay, I don't know, but I think that's it. But now, while I was watching the video, I came across, some key messages. Okay, there were many, but let's just focus on maybe 3, if not 4 or 5 of them that really stood out or can act as the takeaway from this conversation. But before we get to that, if you may find any value in the video, please give it a like. I'll greatly appreciate. And if this is your first time to the channel, please subscribe so we can have more of these discussions. Otherwise, let's go to the messages. Firstly, black people are not obligated to fight every political battle for everyone else. It may not be necessarily, they may be political, but all battles, they are not obligated to fight for anyone else. You see, some Latino people, Latino voices are asking black people to step forward, like to come forward and put themselves on the front line to fight for them. Yet when they do it, they disrespect the black people. But I mean, the response from black voices is basically, hold on, okay? Like, we have spent generations fighting for civil rights, challenging injustice, and standing up for communities beyond our own. So why should black people be expected to risk their safety again when other communities have not always shown the solidarity? Remember, black people have fought for their own rights. They have fought for other people's rights, okay? Yet other people didn't want to fight for black people, do not always stand with black people. But whenever they are in trouble, they want black people to stand for them. Not only to stand for them, but to fully be into it, to be fully fighting for them. Like, black people are just like the objects to fight for anyone else. Black people are not taking that chance. Secondly, political choices have consequences, and communities cannot ignore those consequences once they arrive, once they are now in reality. You see, one argument in the video is that some black people feel Latino communities should acknowledge their political divisions, including the fact that some Latino voters supported Donald Trump. Now, the argument is not that every Latino person voted the same way or they supported this, but the message is simple. If you are asking another community to stand beside you during a crisis, maybe these isolates, the mass deportations, If you want that, then you cannot ignore the decisions that helped create the environment you are protesting against, the environment that is now trying to put you in that corner. Thirdly, black, political independence is becoming a theme here. That's the other thing I noted while I was watching the video. We had a black Trump supporter, like a MAGA supporter, a black person, explain why he believes he can support Trump despite being black, despite his skin color or who he is. His argument was that his political decisions should be based on his beliefs, values, national security, immigration, and issues, not simply on his skin color. Being black does not automatically mean supporting Democrats. Being black does not mean supporting Republicans either. That's according to him. So I don't know what's your take on that. What's your take is, let's discuss down in the comments. But the other thing, exhaustion, like being exhausted, is real. And that many people may explain why some black people are stepping back. Like, no, we cannot take this again. We cannot do this thing again. They're stepping back. Now, the video repeatedly returns to this idea that the black people are tired of fighting, tired of protesting, tired of being expected to rescue everybody else, like they're just the objects that can fight for everybody else, like a gun which is used to defend everyone else. Because, asking why are not black people fighting for us assumes that black people have unlimited energy, time, unlimited, courage and strength to do it. No, they don't. But they also have the right to decide how much they are willing to sacrifice, not everybody else. But even if when they do it, they always get disrespect in return. But how do you expect that person to keep fighting for you? How? If you don't respect them. Finally, the fifth message is about solidarity. Solidarity cannot be demanded. It has to be built through trust. Black people can stand with anyone else if they see there is some sort of mutual trust. Okay, not because you are demanding them as if they are somebody who can just always bow to your wills, bow to your wishes. No. If communities want black Americans to stand beside them, the relationships can not only appear when help is needed. Remember, it is always said that friends in need is a friend indeed. Okay, when black people need your support, are you there for them? So that they also be there when you have a situation. That's the thing. Not that when black people are in a situation, you let them fight for themselves. And when it's your turn, you want them to come for you. What kind of nonsense is that? So it has to be mutual, okay? With respect, trust both way, accountability, empathy, and solidarity in both directions. Not that black people are fighting for you and you are not. This is where the conversation becomes much bigger than ICE, than Trump, than Democrats, Republicans, or immigration. So, who stood with whom? Who showed up when things were difficult in the black community, and who only came asking for help when they needed it? So at the end of the day, I think the takeaway is this. Black people are not necessarily saying they don't care. No, some are saying they are choosing where to spend their energy. Some are saying they have their communities to protect, like they are busy, they have something else to protect, they have something else to do. Some are saying they have already sacrificed enough, like, oh, enough is enough. We have supported you. We have tried to support you. I think from now on, you can take care of yourself. And others are saying we will continue fighting because they believe injustice against one group can eventually affect one another. So we can see that different people have different ideas and different take on this issue. That's why I always ask you to share what exactly is your take. Because people are debating. People are disagreeing, supporting different candidates, questioning movements, and making their own decisions. And whether we agree with these decisions or maybe we not agree, we're not forced to believe them, of course. But we have to understand why they are being made, these decisions. Because sometimes the loudest message is not like we don't care about you or we don't need you. No. Sometimes the loudest message can be we need you to understand what we are, to understand that we are tired too. Okay, so that is something worth considering. Otherwise, that's my take. I don't know what's your take. Let's discuss down in the comments below. I love that you came to watch the video. See you next time, and I'm proud of you. But remember, if this is your first time, please subscribe. If you found any value in the video, please give it a like. I would greatly appreciate it. See you next time. and I'm proud of you.